We got hits.
Lyrical assassin. Gon' get the method on, you can gon' get the stepping on. Now I'm back, bout to let them get it. Gucci Glock with no mask on. Bars hitting harder than beats from your last song. Now you feeling busted and disgusted like all your cash gone. Standing in the rain singing another sad song. Thought you was the shit, you trash, home. Y'all should've paid attention, got your class on. Cause I was doing arithmetic, get my math on. Straight like that. Spit flows like stone cold, that break nose, I'm so cold. Going poster loco, when I grip mics, it excite and blow up like dynamite. Quit my thirst, we going out tonight. Party like a I'm walking like a team full of hitters if you looking for a fight. Grip, pull, throw like we tossing the grenades. But up a pum-pum cause my chopper trying to serenade. Flow so cold, now the critics are raving. Bars so hot, they hung a nigga like Craven. I heard it through the grapevine, but this ain't no California raisin. Wood full of Zod like Smokey, I'm still blazing. I'm on that grimy shit, that slimy shit. That rough you up, make you come find me shit. I'm on that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit, yeah, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit. I'm on that grimy shit, leader like Optimus Prime shit. I'm the head, you niggas is at the end of the line shit. Playing follow the leader, trying to catch up. Now I'm on you niggas next and I ain't gon' let up. You feeling lucky, my nigga, well place your bet up. Cause I could think of nothing better than stacking my cheddar. As a matter of fact, I do it with ease. The shit's so easy, I do it in my sleep. I'm a hustler nigga, that's why I never had nothing in common with thieves. Cross me, I'ma show up like Santa Claus at your crib on Christmas Eve. Marking names off the list of the haters and fakers. Cause bosses only associate with movers and shakers. I'm on that grimy shit, that grimy shit. I'm on that grimy shit, that grimy shit. I'm on that grimy shit. Back to the grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit, yeah, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Okay. Now y'all can hear me. What it do? What it do? What it do? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Steve Franchise Media, man. Like another day of this YSL trial. The trial continues, even though we all can see that, this trial is not going the way of the prosecution. It's actually making them look pretty bad. But nevertheless, another day in paradise. Yeah. But we gonna be starting shortly. So y'all get ready. Cause they're gonna be starting shortly, and we gonna bring it to you, all of it. For real, man. Salute to all my peoples out there. You know what I mean, y'all. We gonna get the lives back going. We gonna get everybody back. You know what I'm saying? Circulating and functioning with each other. And yeah. We gonna keep this thing rocking, man. Did y'all miss me? We back though, in full effect. Steve Franchise Media is in full effect. You know what I mean? If you're an artist out there, producer, record label, anybody in position that needs some music, you can go to the link down below in the description section of this video and hit that beat store up. For real. Get you some authentic Steve Franchise We Got hits. So you can have a hit. Because we got them. And I know you need them. So go on over there and get you some. For real. And the prices are I guarantee you better than what you're used to. Yeah. Go on over there and grab you some of them bangers. Cause we got hits. Yes, we do. We got hits. Go on over there and get you one. Just hit the link. It's in the description down below. Hit that link. Go on, grab you something. Yeah. Never know. With one of those beats, you might make a multi-platinum hit. It's possible. For real. But salute everybody, man. Good morning. Rise and shine, rise and grind. Let's get it. Let's try to be starting soon. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. We're gonna be starting this thing all right. Let's start this thing all right. Yeah.
We got hits.
Lyrical assassin. Go on, get the method on. You can go on, get the stepping on. Now I'm back, bout to let them get it. Gucci Glock with no mask on. Bars hitting harder than beats from your last song. Now you feeling busted and disgusted like all your cash gone. Standing in the rain singing another sad song. Thought you was the shit, you trash, home. Y'all should've paid attention, got your class on. Cause I was doing arithmetic, get my math on. Straight like that. Spit flows like stone cold, that break nose, I'm so cold. Going poster loco, when I grip mics, it excite and blow up like dynamite. Pop the top on Sprite, quench my thirst, we going out tonight. Party like a star, cause I'm walking like a light. Team full of hitters if you looking for a fight. Grip, pull, throw like we tossing the grenades. But up a pum-pum, cause my chopper trying to serenade. Flow so cold, now the critics are raving. Bars so hot, they hung a nigga like Craven. I heard it through the grapevine, but this ain't no California raisin. Wood full of Zod like Smokey, I'm still blazing. I'm on that grimy shit, that slimy shit, that rough you up, make you come find me shit.
All right. Did the state get a chance to look at the law sent over about the in-life photograph and what y'all's position on introducing that photograph through the mother?
Yes, Your Honor. We'll meet with Ms. Holmes again, but I don't. Good morning. We'll meet with Ms. Holmes again. In our previous meetings with her, she has not been overly emotional about this case with involving her son. Her being on stand will be very limited to getting in the photo, and then she will be completed with her testimony. And so we believe, just given the witnesses that we have, that she would be the best witness to enter into that photograph. Ms. Smith is the individual we believe assisting in setting up this homicide. Mr. Uten and Mr. Mitchell, at this juncture, in all honesty, are not very cooperative. And so those individuals to bring in this picture of Mr. Holmes, we believe would be inappropriate. The mother can do it.
Honestly, I can't hear that one either.
The mother can bring in this photograph. She will be up here for a very limited purpose, and we believe that it would not violate GOOT or any other of the other.
That mic is not working. You have to hold it closer to your mouth.
Okay.
So you believe that whichever one of those witnesses that was in the car you said, is this whatever the person's name is, they would say, I have no idea?
It's very possible, Your Honor. At this juncture, all of our witnesses who come in here should be able to answer simple questions. Unfortunately, do not. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, simple questions.
Okay, you know what? How about try it with one of them, and if they refuse to identify the photo, then call the mom. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And then, Your Honor, also for the in-life photo, Mariah Smith, who's going to be a witness, they're going to show her a photo that she posted on her Instagram anyway. So having two photos of Mr. Holmes will be cumulative.
Your Honor, we will. We will follow the court's instruction. We will try to get it in through one of the other witnesses.
Okay. All right, and then, I mean, if it's already, it's the same, it's not the same photo, is it?
No, Your Honor.
Is there going to be some other purpose for the Instagram photo with, what page number are these people on? Do y'all know? Okay, Miss Smith, the Instagram photo of Mr. Holmes, you'd be using it?
If we choose to, that's one of the pictures that we place in the items to discuss.
Okay.
So we are deciding, as we would with any witness, what evidence we're going to admit. So we may or may not admit that Instagram.
Okay, well, if there would be no other purpose for it, then it would be cumulative. There may be some other purpose they might have.
Your Honor, I expect that photo to come in through Ms. Smith. She testified at the original trial. When she spoke to officers, she said she spoke to the victim every day at trial. She said she'd never met him before that night. And of course, she's posted a photo of him on Instagram. So we certainly anticipate bringing it in to impeach her from her trial testimony, but she didn't know him.
All right, but I mean, that would be after you'd be cross-examining, so I would imagine if they ask the same question, they could do the same thing.
Sure.
All right. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Trev. Your Honor, in the case you referenced, which is GUBE, versus State 313 Georgia 859. It's in Division 2B. It's in Barry. It's 2022 case. And I've litigated this, and I know the court said it yesterday. In a murder case, God forbid, the in-life photograph is relevant because you have to show that the person was alive, and then is the corpus delicti is no longer living. But this is a conspiracy RICO count. So the overt acts and that's going to be another issue that we argue before your honorable court whenever you call it. But those overt acts don't have to be proven. It just has to be contemplated that that's what the conspiracy is about, and that overt act has been commenced in some way. It could be a lawful act. But here, the state is putting in, or wants to put in through a parent, the loss of a child. That's just unbearable. And whether they're going to cry or show their emotions or not, I'm not so sure that it has much relevance. I don't believe anybody is going to argue that the person wasn't a human being. And under paragraph 2B of the Good case, the Supreme Court specifically talks about that, it may not even be relevant, and then it would be a waste of time, and it would be prejudicial, especially if another photograph is coming in. So I just want it to be waged that that's the objection. And we're going to have another killing in this case, and I know Mr. Williams is not involved in these, but it's wearing on a jury because those things go back to the jurors during deliberation. So I would like the court not to include an in-life photograph, except obviously Instagram or something like that if it's coming in anyway.
All right, well, we'll see how it ends up coming in. Okay, let's, I guess the autopsy photos, there's been an offer by the defense for Mr. Ryan to stipulate to the cause of Mr. Holmes, the manner of Mr. Holmes's death.
Yes, Your Honor. In discussing with defense counsel, we asked if they would be willing to stipulate to the autopsy report and the autopsy photos. They decided they do not want to stipulate to the autopsy report and photos, but only to the manner of death. We understand that Mr. Holmes is only charged with the RICO count.
Mr. Ryan.
Excuse me, Mr. Ryan, I'm sorry. Is only charged with the RICO count, and the murder is an overt act. We still have to show or prove the overt act for the jury to believe that it is a part of the conspiracy. And with that, Your Honor, Ms. D. Williams in her opening statement didn't say these words exactly, but alluded to the fact that her client was innocent of the underlying murder, which was the overt act in this case. She's, I think her words were similar to, he's here, he's been convicted, but that's because he didn't have a good defense, something to that effect. And that was stated in opening. So the state, we believe, still have to prove the underlying overt act, which is the homicide. Initially, the state was trying to avoid calling Dr. Sullivan and an ability to get in two, or I think we showed the court 3 pictures initially. Defense objected to the omission of those 3 pictures. And so the state at this time is prepared to call Dr. Sullivan for the limited purposes of talking about Mr. Holmes' injuries and admitting into evidence at least 3 photos. We don't intend to, honestly, we would ask the defense that they would stipulate that Dr. Sullivan is an expert, so we don't have to go through that line of questioning, but be able to prove our case, show that how he died, the manner of his death, and those 3 autopsy photos. We don't believe Dr. Sullivan's testimony would take longer than 10 to 15 minutes if we're able to get directly to the point of how he died, where his injuries were, and we will conclude our testimony at that point.
So what is the defense willing to stipulate to?
That his cause of death was a bullet to the brain, to the head. That's about it. And then the 2 victims that were also in the car, they could testify that they saw him in the car. They saw him, I guess, go over. Who else could testify? And then that's about it. I mean, I don't understand why they need the autopsy photos. So that's why I have the 401, 402, and 403 objection. They're only doing this to inflame the jury. There's no reason to bring in the autopsy photos.
Okay, well, they hardly picked photos that would inflame anybody.
Well, if seeing a 15-year-old on an autopsy table, which is what they did in their
Well,
opening,
you know
would
what?
inflame
He
the
got
jury.
killed.
He did, and they did a murder trial, and my client was wrongfully convicted.
Well, if you're making that argument, then they are entitled to prove it. So you will not stipulate to the medical examiner's expertise?
She was already admitted as an expert, so yes. I thought yeah, we'll stipulate to that.
Okay, great. All right, let me see the photos again.
Yes, Your Honor. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes. Thanks. All right, I'm going to permit them. All right, did y'all give me a sheet of paper that had what y'all had agreed to and what we still needed to litigate on Ryan or not? I mean, it would have been an email, but
We did not, Your Honor, because we have been going back and forth. We can,
Okay.
when we get to those pictures, we can let you know what we've agreed to, Your Honor.
okay. So what would the best thing to do be pull up the Dropbox link?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Mr. Sprinkle is here, Your Honor, if you wanted to. He
Okay.
just walked in.
Hi. Can you take the stand for me? Yes. And I wasn't going to do this right now, but when I read that, go ahead and sit down. You're sworn. You're already sworn. You've been a witness in this for days on end.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're still under oath, and I'm going to recall your attention to I think it was the last day of your testimony. It was, there was a laptop on the witness stand, and you accessed it,
Yes.
and you actually did that without anybody asking you to or asking the court's permission. But can you tell me what all you looked at on the laptop?
Yeah, I had my supplement, that 140-page document, and I also had some of the stuff that I pulled during the case. Everything that's already been turned over in discovery, just in case I need to refresh my recollection. But primarily, it was just it was a digital version of the report that I had on the stand. That was it. So I could do word searches. So if I was asked a question, I wouldn't have to be flipping through pages and looking for things.
Okay. Was there any point in time when you accessed anything else other than that report and the files that were connected to that?
No.
Okay. Did you in any way read any communication that came in at any time from anybody?
No, I wasn't communicating with anybody. I didn't have email open or anything like that. All I was looking at was the report and the digital media, like the discs that I brought to the stand with me, that stuff that was on the discs and the stuff that was turned over in discovery. That was it.
All right. We may call you back at some point with regard to this a motion that has just been filed after lunch. Are you going to be around this afternoon? And I don't know whether you'd be needed for that or not. Haven't read it in detail, nor do we have a response from the state yet. But would you be available this afternoon if we need you?
Well, I'm just one floor up, Your Honor, in courtroom 2B. I do have a couple of cases, but I mean, the short answer to your question is I will be in the building in the moment I can peel away.
And I don't know, like I said, whether you'll be needed or not. But all right. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get this Dropbox link open. Is it the same one from yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor. It's titled 9 October Centralized Motion Folder, and there's a subfolder in there that says Acts 79 through 81.
Okay. Yeah, the hardest thing for me is actually finding the email again. So
And I can resend it.
Well, I'm sure Ms. Pursfield can probably do that faster than y'all.
It was 11:36 on Tuesday.
Oh, here it is. Where did it go? There it is. No, that's something else. No, I don't have it. Nope. All right, so if y'all, I've got it up now, so if y'all want to just let me know which ones we're going to need to take a look at.
Your Honor, I think we should start with, so there is a PDF titled 11 October Ryan IG thread. Defense counsel in the state, we have had a couple discussions and gone over what we're introducing and the various sides' objections, and that 11 October Ryan IG thread is the most recent from Mr. Ryan's Instagram of the post we will be using that we would be discussing.
Okay. All right. All right, and what would the objection be? What's the objection?
Your Honor, I believe we're looking at page, excuse me, Instagram 125. We believe this is going to be cumulative of other posts and the testimony itself. This is the post attributed to slimelife.shoddy, which is Wooney Lee, who's planning to testify. I think he would be able to testify to exactly what's in these photographs without the necessity of offering Instagram photos.
Okay, so the one that is page 125, it's not a photo anyway, it's a post.
I'm sorry, kind of screenshot,
Okay,
image, whatever you'd like to
okay.
call it.
So, Your Honor, and if the court permit, may I remain seated?
Yeah,
Or-
that's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the Slime Life Shorty Instagram handle is Wooney Lee, who is he will be a witness in this trial, was originally a defendant.
Mhm.
And this post is between Mr. Ryan and Mr. Lee. And he posts that he loves Mr. Ryan, he's realer than me. And then at the bottom, it says full throttle about you. The association between both of them, the state hasn't thus far in this trial with the jury, to my knowledge, introduced any evidence about Mr. Ryan and Mr. Wooney Lee's relationship. So this is the first photo we've addressed with the court explaining that. And the date it's posted is February 25th, 2019. The murder in this case is February 23rd, 2019. So the state feels it's relevant and there's no other evidence introduced yet about this specific topic. So it's not cumulative in this moment.
Overruled. Ben, what's the next one? Are there other objections to other of the Instagram posts?
Judge, just on this, the relevance where I don't think we necessarily know who the other individuals in this photograph are.
Okay, are we moving on to, is this 127?
I'm sorry, Judge, yes.
Okay,
We accept your ruling of
okay.
overruled.
All right, yeah, no, I just didn't know if we were moving on to the next one or if we were skipping 3 because there was an objection, but,
No, I believe,
okay. And so the objection would be, it's the other people aren't identified?
I don't know if they're relevant to this case at all.
Okay, what is so it's a relevance objection. What's the relevance?
Yes, and Your Honor, may I remain seated as well?
That's fine.
Your Honor, specifically 3 individuals in this picture are, we believe, YSL members. That would be at one Brees, which is Christian Eppinger, at real1_FR, which is Mr. Darius Ford, and Little Nine Life, which is Mr. Durante BB. We can block out the other individuals and only keep in the 3 that we know of are members of YSL.
Okay, when you say block out, you mean the tags. What about the picture itself?
When I say block out, the pictures of those other people and the tags of those other individuals.
That would carry the objection.
All right, so then 128,
as just the page reflecting the date that 127 was posted.
Oh, you're right. 129, sorry.
We have no objection to 129.
Okay.
And Judge, I will say, we object as far as these being prejudicial and cumulative. We have nothing further to argue as far as objections go. So when we say no objection, it's no further objection to the general objection for all of them.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not going to assume that each one of these has a relevance and cumulative objection, so I need y'all to state the objection for each of them, okay? So you think this is, so it would be cumulative? What are your objections to 129?
We'll withdraw the
Agree
objection.
on that one.
We'll withdraw the objection.
Okay, so without objection, okay, thank you. 137. Any objection to 137?
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any objection to 143?
This is also a post with, this is Wani Lee, who's a co-defendant. And so at this point, this would be the second post, so this would be cumulative.
Okay, what's the response?
Your Honor, this is a little bit different because in this post, it says slime is all we know. We can't go out bad, loyalty over love. So it's, again, it's showing, it's for one, using, he's referring to it as slime is all we know. And he's expressing loyalty amongst two fellow gang members, Your Honor, publicly.
Let me go back up and look at that first one. So are you saying when this references slime, what are you saying? I'm sorry, I don't really understand what your argument is.
When it says slime is all we know, we can't go out bad. There's been testimony earlier in Zachary's interview, he says a comment about catching someone down bad, which means to murder or hurt them. So when he says we can't go out bad, slime is all we know, we can't go out bad. It's like the gang is all we know. And it's saying loyalty over love right after that. So it's like, we got to protect one another. This is what we know.
So this is more than just the two of them's relationship. This is with regard to the larger gang.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the cumulative objection is overruled.
Judge, my question with this post and some of the others is going to be, I don't know if we're going to have a witness who's going to come in and say, this is what this person means. I don't think that would be appropriate. If what to say, this is what this person means, they should be asking the author or whomever posted it. But the same question Your Honor has, looking at it, well, what is the relevance? I don't think it's appropriate for a witness to come in and say, this is what this person means when they posted this.
Okay, are y'all planning to have somebody do that?
So two things, Your Honor. One, all of these that we're currently in is statement of party opponent from Mr. Ryan. But specifically on that issue, the jury has heard from, the first witness was Detective Belknap, who was an Atlanta Police Department gang detective. So a lot of what I'm proffering this to the court of why the state wants it, but
understand.
Each individual post or comment is not going to, some of this evidence is already in evidence in terms of the state has had witnesses testify about gang identifiers, what these mean. So
So you're not going to have somebody say, this is what whomever the poster was meant, because I'm in their head.
No, Your Honor. I'm not going to have someone get up and say exactly what Mr. Ryan meant when he posted this. No.
Okay, but y'all can certainly argue that if you want to, and when we ever get to closing arguments. Okay. All right, page 145. Any objection?
Sorry, Judge, 143 will take that as an objection overruled.
Yes.
No objection to 145.
All right. 164.
No objection.
Thank you. 166.
Yes. Subject to connection.
Judge, this is one that we had actually discussed with the state that we didn't feel it was relevant or appropriate unless one BS slime could be established who that person was. We were waiting on the state to see if they had an answer of who that would be and if there was someone who would testify based on some evidence in the trial versus just, this is this person.
Your Honor, the state's understanding is that 1B Slime is an individual by the name of Jaborius Greer. Jaborius Greer, we believe, is the nephew of Mr. Williams. We have had gang experts that have had interactions with Mr. Greer, and we believe that he is also a member of YSL.
All right. Well, is that going to come into evidence?
Yes, of who 1B Slime is, yes.
All right.
Because he's on a few other posts as well, Your Honor.
Okay. Through whom is that going to come into evidence?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Through whom?
Investigator Viverito.
Okay. And will that have been before or after this?
After, it will be after.
All right. Overruled. 203.
No objection.
211.
No objection.
236.
Objection or no?
All of us in the back, I think we're trying to, I know this is kind of involving Mr. Ryan.
Well, I
But-
mean, the evidence is
Right.
coming into the trial, so.
I'm just trying to figure out, I'm in the Dropbox link that
Mhm.
Mr. Atkins sent, but you guys are, everyone's referring to as exhibit numbers, and I'm,
It's no. So at the very top right, it says page 240, which I guess must have been of the whole Instagram record. Did y'all see that? So it's in the folder that's, what, 79 through 81? And then I think it's, at least for me, the second entry in there.
It's titled 11 October Ryan IG thread.
All right, and then once you open it, you'll see the page number references, and that's what we're referring to right now. Sure. Okay, so we're on, I think, page 240?
Yes, Judge, we are objecting to the relevance subject to some sort of foundation or connection about what this is about.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Rudy, we believe 240, the post says Rudy 4L into GVNG, which we've seen for gang, they take out the A and replace it with a V. Rudy is a young man, and my apologies, his actual name is escaping me, but he was a member of YSL that is now deceased. And a number of YSL members either have Rudy 4L tattooed on them, or they have Rudy in some way. They honor this young man. And Detective Belknap has testified about Rudy and about this significance to YSL. And so the fact that Mr. Ryan is posting about him again shows his allegiance to YSL.
Given the testimony that's already come in, seems that's relevant, so overruled. 244.
Judge, we're just asking the ones who've not been identified or won't be identified be redacted out from this image.
All right.
So, Your Honor, because this post is titled "Love All Mine" and it has a snake emoji, the state, and it's a statement of party opponent, the state feels that all of these and some of these Instagram, in what we will get to in a little bit, interact with some of these handles. And so the state feels that it's relevant that in this public post, he says, "Love all my," the state interpreted as slimes, he puts the snake. And so the state feels that none of these should be redacted.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, that's fine. Then I will overrule the request for redaction. 258.
Judge, I feel this is highly prejudicial without any sort of connection to this actual case.
Response.
So, Your Honor, this is a 6 firearms, and the one on the far right has an extended magazine. So the state, we have whittled down pictures and reference.
Where does it come from? Like, what's this a picture from?
It's his Instagram, Your Honor.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so, yes, Your Honor. So because at this point in time, we've tried, there's a number of pictures of firearms and pictures and videos. And so thus far, we've discussed one today. So the state feels that this is, it's relevant to show access to firearms. It's his own Instagram that this is a photo he has. So the state feels at this point in time, it's not cumulative or irrelevant that there's a 6 firearms, one at least visibly has an extended magazine in this photograph.
Okay. Well, given that he's choosing to post this on his Instagram, I'm going to overrule the relevance objection. Page 260 is the next one.
No objection.
All right. 315.
No objection.
So then there's several pages of business records. That's just showing?
Your Honor,
What is that?
so this is Instagram. At the top of every page is going to have business record, but these are Instagram threads.
Okay.
That the remainder of this PDF is various conversations
Okay.
that Mr. Ryan is having.
All right. So, Ms. Bossi, if you can direct me to whatever the next page is that you have objection to.
Your Honor, it's going to be the next few pages, which are number at the top is 400 through 404.
Okay.
I don't believe we have, or there will be, any sort of identification about who the conversation is between besides Mr. Ryan and another person. Our understanding from the state is this is about selling firearms. And I don't know how that is relevant to this case about Mr. Ryan selling firearms.
All right. And I see that some of these things are highlighted.
Yes, Your Honor. So the highlights, it was to make it easier for both the court defense counsel to follow what the state feels is significant, because the way that Instagram returns come in, you can have multiple threads on different pages.
Okay.
And so it goes by time of when you get an incoming request. So it can get kind of confusing to follow, because it's not just a conversation between Mr. Ryan and one party, it's embedded with others. So the highlights are, I may have missed a couple, but it's to orient. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And so there's a relevance objection.
Yes, Your Honor. So this is in a similar category in regards to, there is a number of references to FYE when it says sell me a fire, the state, that is a gun, firearm. There's a number of these in the Instagram. The state wanted to include some of these so that these photographs of guns, it's him talking about actual firearms. Sometimes I'm not saying this argument has been made or will be made, but in terms of for the jury, his internal discussions about real firearms, right? Instead of maybe they could be a prop, or maybe they could be, these photos we're showing, that this is just showing he has access to and is talking about.
Right, but we're not talking about the photo right now. As I understand the relevance objection, it is, what is the relevance of him proposing and engaging in conversation about a transaction to buy or trade firearms?
Yes, Your Honor. So in this case, in regards to count one, it's maintaining armed individuals ready and willing to preserve, protect, and enhance the reputation through the use of violence. It also includes, ease and access to firearms. And so the fact that he is, casually discussing, because this specific one, Mr. Ryan is talking about, give me 250 for my Glock. And the party he's interacting with says, I got a Taurus, I'm going to sell it for $2. So it's simply to show the ease with firearms involving a case with a number of violent acts and his access to firearms. That's why the state wanted to include this. And I can see the court's chagrin, but that's why the state wanted to include
It's not
this.
chagrin, but I doubt maybe as to the relevance of him wanting to sell a firearm, if that's what this is reflecting.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm going to grant the relevance objection. All right, what's the next?
I'm sorry, Judge, they've taken out a few photos or a few parts since the last time we
Okay,
discussed it.
yeah.
Making sure I only talked about the ones which are relevant.
Appreciate it.
413. So I think we get up to 416. There are going to be a number of pages in here which it's just Mr. Ryan saying slat or just one phrase. And I guess our question is exactly how many of these do we need? Because we've got some images, we've got multiple conversations. How many times do we need to just see the same one word or same one phrase to establish that these are phrases or words that Mr. Ryan uses?
Okay, so I see the one that starts on 416.
Correct,
Is
Your
that
Honor.
a multi-page thing?
It
or-
is pages 416 and 417.
Okay.
And the state, again, has whittled down. In the Instagram, there is a lot of reference to these terms, but the state wanted to include some because these are private, direct messages.
Okay, so this would be this 2-page
Correct, Your Honor.
correspondence.
And so it starts at the bottom of page 416 where instead of the S, it's the 5.
Right.
And it says slat, and it's between Mr. Ryan's Instagram is Slime Business Rod, and the person he's interacting with is Maniac with an X instead of the C, Rolak. And so that Instagram handle, I do not know exactly who Maniac Rolak is, but Pete Rolak, Sex Money Murder, founders of that street gang, that Instagram handle stands out. But nonetheless, it's just to show, and the state's not intending to do this 100 times. This is the first time we've discussed it where Mr. Ryan says slat with a 5 and the person responds, what's blazing twin? And then Mr. Ryan says he's basically just hanging out, but he's replacing certain letters like C's with B's. And then the other guy responds right side, and the right side is significant. And so this also has, so yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that one's the first time we're seeing it, so that one can come in, and then I don't know whether they're going to be more or not, but my ruling might be different if there are more.
So Judge, from there, we move over to page 467, which is where we have a message between Winnie Lee, who was the speaker or the person in the first few photos. The state wanted to show the association with Mr. Ryan saying, very yacht slime, WYA, you good.
We're going to withdraw that, Your Honor.
All right, they're going to withdraw that. All right.
Judge, the next one is going to be moving up to the Instagram page number 512.
Okay. And, okay, what's the objection?
So this 512 through 514 is a conversation, I guess, between underscore free Juju, who I don't think we know who it is. It begins on page 512. 513 is a conversation where Mr. Free Juju says, you know, the N-word you robbed named Booley. They're talking about some sort of conflict allegedly that Mr. Ryan had where he robbed somebody. We feel that's entirely too prejudicial to come in. And the conversation about it continues with Free Juju being the speaker.
So, Your Honor, this thread goes from Instagram pages 512 to 514. And the state does not have, so just, I'm going to follow this thread because to orient the court. So it starts at the bottom of page 512 where Free Juju tells Mr. Ryan he's got to tell him about something that happened today. And
Right.
Mr. Ryan's like, what happened?
Right.
So the state has no problem to redacting the word robbed. He's referencing someone that Mr. Ryan had previously robbed, but the state wants more so that he's talking about a specific person named Bully. And then Mr. Ryan's like, yeah, I remember the guy robbed. And then they go further. And so what this individual says is Tobias had got caught for an X, which the state believes is a gun, while he was walking on the back street back from school.
Right.
And then, long story short, this individual Bully draws down on him, as in brandishes a firearm at him, and he's telling Mr. Ryan that Tobias was scared. And so, in response to that, you go down to 514, and Mr. Ryan says, "Were y'all striking on Cleveland? Striking typically can be going in to break into cars and steal items." And he's like, "No, we weren't breaking into cars. We were walking to school smoking, and we saw a gun on the seat." And then further on, what Mr. Ryan responds to that in terms of the person letting someone draw a gun on him and not resort to violence back is, y'all are reckless. Why did y'all let Bully draw down on him? Now y'all can't get bust down. I'm going to draw on him on slime. So it's the state kind of wants these 3 pages for that last line where he says, I'm going to draw down on him on slime,
Okay.
on the gang.
All right, so just redact on the thread, I guess. What are you, just redact you robbed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, well, that'll cure that objection.
Judge, that brings us up to page 543 through 546.
Okay.
This is another, I believe, series of talking about, I guess, selling bullets.
Given your previous ruling, Your Honor, we'll withdraw.
All right. All right, what would our next one be?
I thought they were taking 696. My notes in this, Judge, was that the state was going to withdraw 696 because we already had the word slat earlier.
Is that right?
Well, page 696.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like all that is.
Yeah,
is-
696.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah. Judge, this one, I think we had. kind
I'm
of
sorry, this one being
I'm
which
sorry,
one?
Judge. It's going to be page 778.
Okay,
Ms. Abasi, in the court, for 778, the state, we won't use 778.
okay. All right, and then is the next thing 801?
We had no objection to 801.
And that goes, what, 801, 802, I guess?
802, we discussed with the state, they were going to redact out part of it, which we agreed to, and no objection
Okay.
with that redaction being.
All right,
We're going to redact, Your Honor, at the very top, the first text on page 802. And defense counsel in the state talked about this.
okay, as long as y'all are on the same page.
That's going to bring us up to 819 and 820.
Okay,
This is another one, we don't believe there's any sort of connection to the gang and how this would be relevant. Again, this is with Free Juju, who we don't know who this is.
Your Honor, the state, well, I'm double checking because,
laughing at the reference to a Hello Kitty.
yeah,
Yes.
so he's basically insulting because the gun is
Yeah.
small.
Kind of funny.
So, Your Honor, the state will not be, I'm double checking because sometimes there's another thread that's captured on the same page, but we will not be introducing that
Okay.
brief back and forth.
All right.
Page 880, Judge, we feel that the relevance regarding to what the prejudice from this is, based on what the state's understanding of it is, which I don't think it's self-explanatory. Someone would probably have to explain what it means. But we feel it's overly prejudicial with respect to the minimal relevance.
All right, I think probably slide and sticks have already been explained, right? Through testimony already?
Correct, Your Honor. So the state wanted to include this just to show, it's one thing for the state to talk about it, but this is
Right.
an internal Instagram.
Okay. Overruled. What's next?
(903), 904, Judge. This was another relevance about some people talking about going to Club Crucial.
Your Honor, the person that Mr. Ryan is speaking with is, the author is 05E and Drive Slim. That is Mr. Christian McMillan, Your Honor, who unfortunately passed away in March of 2022. We believe is a YSL associate. So to show his connection with Mr. McMillan is why we have this.
All right, and have y'all already established who that author is, who that other person is?
We will be establishing who that is. We have a few Instagram posts with him and other individuals with this same Instagram handle, 05E and Drive Slim.
Okay, and this would
And-
just go.
And it may already be in, there's a picture of Antonio Sledge and him,
Okay.
and I believe that picture is in evidence, Your Honor.
All right.
I'm sorry, Judge,
Go
there's a photo earlier on which we did not object to with this same person. So the connection between them has already been shown earlier via photo.
You're right, but the conversation continues because this is one of the conversations in which you actually need to look at his conversation with Mr. McMillan and his conversation with Billion Dollar Pink. Billion Dollar Pink towards the bottom of, well, their conversation actually starts in the middle where he tells her, I'm on the way to Crucial, or OTW, on the way to Crucial. Then I believe it's a she. Bruh, who you with?
Page am I looking at?
903.
Okay, it must not be highlighted.
It's not
But,
highlighted.
okay, all right, I see $1 billion pink.
Yeah, so she's
Bro, who you with?
bro, who you with? And then he responds to her, gang. So that coupled with him talking to Mr. McMillan about going to Crucial and who he's with, he's acknowledging that he is with gang to her. So these two conversations actually coincide with each other. So he's setting up going to Crucial with Mr. McMillan, and then he's telling the other person when she asks who you're going with, gang.
Okay. Okay. Overruled.
The next ones, take one out. They take it. So they. Okay. This one, Judge, is going to be 940, 941. As far as relevance, and I don't know what the probative value is. This is another one, a conversation between Mr. Ryan and somebody, and we don't know who. I don't know how it's relevant.
So Your Honor, this is where, when we started that post where it says love all of, and has the snake emoji, one of those individuals that Mr. Ryan, ats is Block Life OKKY, which is who he's speaking with. So it's someone he's publicly stated as a fellow gang member. And so what he says is, at the very top of 940, this individual, Block Life, says, talking about going to Club LaCroix, about to get dropped off at Big Nick Spot. Big Nick Spot is someone that pops up in terms of a location that that YSL members will go to or hang out at. So, and it's 2823 Waters Road, or sorry, 2830 Waters Road, which is the same house we've talked about to the court with the 911 call and tethered to the murder of Shamel Drinks and the back and forth. So also, if you follow this conversation more, Mr. Ryan in kind of the bottom of 940 says, Slime's gone from the store to the studio. And this person responds like, who? Mr. Ryan uses this term MAJA. But then if you go further, he's like, what studio are they at? And he says, last time I checked, they were at Club LaCroix with Dolly. And there's been testimony about Dolly being Dolly Greer, the sister of Jeffrey Williams, about 2 hours ago. So again, this is showing it references a couple of different items in a private Instagram thread of a location of Waters Road, referred to as Big Nick Spot, and also tethers, because age-wise, there's a difference. And so it connects Mr. Ryan with other evidence in this trial.
All right, overruled.
And Judge, just to add to that, the part about who was with Dolly, that's not Mr. Ryan as the speaker. I don't think we know who that person is. I'm sorry, did I miss that? We do know who that is?
I don't know his name. I know it's the same person that Mr. Ryan ats when he says, love all my slimes. And then Mr. Ryan responds to that, okay.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Okay, what's our next one?
This is 950, 951. Seems some sort of spat between Mr. Ryan and somebody else. At the somebody else, I don't think we know who it is. So I don't know what the relevance of this is.
So, Your Honor, the state for 950 and 951 will not utilize that
All right,
thread.
thank you.
1012 or 1012
Okay.
to 12, excuse me, 1014. Again, we have another firearm gun conversation.
Any significance beyond?
Your Honor, no, the state understands the court ruling that there's one, and the court's ruling may be the same on this at the bottom of 1013. He says, can you sell me some for cheap? You have 2 sticks and about 5 pistols. And then Mr. Ryan says, for sure, we're going to be getting into photographs and videos of firearms, but so the state felt that was significant in terms of the number of firearms, and also, but the murder involves both what would be referenced as a stick or a longer assault rifle and a handgun. No indication, obviously, from this specific text thread that he's talking about the weapons involved in the homicide. This is almost 30 days before then, but nonetheless, the state understands the court's previous rulings about firearms, but that specific
Shows his access to firearms like the ones used in the murder.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll actually permit the admission of that one.
And the state cannot, thank you, Your Honor, will not use 1012 when he's talking about a different firearm, and
All
we
right.
use 1013.
Okay. And then does 1014 go with it as well, or is that some new thread? Y'all don't need that one, right? It'll just be page 1013.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes.
Judge, I want to go back to 1013.
Sure.
This conversation is Free Juju saying he wants these guns, which the state is saying, are consistent with what were used. And Mr. Ryan's response first is for sure, but I think that's supposed to be a response to the prior. The conversation is, give me a gun, B word. And then Free Juju sends this other, give me these ones for cheap XYZ.
Right.
Mr. Ryan says for show. I think that's actually referring back to the give me a gun in general, because his next response is I don't sell FYE no more. And then Free Juju says when you get 2, just give me 1. And we don't have a response from Mr. Ryan saying, okay, yes, I'll do that. He's actually saying, no, I don't have those guns.
Well, he's not saying, no, I don't have those guns. So the ruling stands.
That's 10, 13, and 14.
Well, my understanding was that they were just going to use 1013. Do you want 1014 in?
I was just trying to make sure I got the right pages.
All right.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It's just 1013?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. What's our next one?
It's about 1036 and 1039. Your Honor, if the next 2 pages were 10, it's just 1039.
I'm sorry, Judge, to back up, if 10, 12, and 10, 13 are coming in, then we would want 10, 14.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my understanding was it would just be 1013.
Yes, Your Honor, you are correct.
Then we would like 10, 14 to come in because it completes the conversation of I don't sell that anymore.
Okay. So 1013 and 1014.
Your Honor, we're withdrawing. Oh, am I looking at the over? We're withdrawing 1036 and 1039.
And Your Honor, the court's version just currently has 1039.
Okay. And y'all are withdrawing that. Okay.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
then that takes us to 1070 is there, which I guess would be 1070 through 1073.
The next objection The next objection we have is starting on page 1109.
All right.
All right. 1109 and 1110. This is largely a conversation with somebody else. And I don't think, without knowing if that's some sort of a co-conspirator, that this is relevant. And I also don't think the relevance of this conversation is evident or has any relevance unless there's someone who's going to get up and say, this is what this person means when they say this. So that's going to be 11.9 and 11.10.
All right.
So, Your Honor, there's multiple things going on here in terms of 1109. This person says, he tells Mr. Ryan, hey, Slime, you need to check out this person. He's my brother. I'm trying to scare him. And then Mr. Ryan says, does he say he's Slime? As in, like, is he claiming YSL? And then he says, how? And then the guy responds like, yes, he is, but he's my brother. And this thread goes on, and he says, the person who started this conversation says to Mr. Ryan, I just want you to scare him, which the state takes as not, do something more violent to him for if he's really not Slime, and he's claiming that. And then the bottom of 1110 is a separate relevant portion where Scarface is Demekion Garlington. And when that Instagram handle, it says slat this SB, what's up? The state believes that SB is the nickname for Mr. Stillwell. And so that specific bottom portion of 1110 is a separate reason in this thread. And then they have a video call with one another. And so there's two things going on, and the state can not utilize, so.
The top part.
No.
So, and Your Honor, the part of what's behind this is, like, for example, Mr. Sledge, who's testified before this court, he's on the stand saying anyone can be Slime, that someone is publicly saying that they're Slime, because Mr. Ryan is saying, like, he says he's Slime, how? And the person who's telling Mr. Ryan about this says, I just want you to scare him, which the follow on of that is like, don't do something more. So that's why the state feels it's important, is there's a differentiation. Not every, there is people that are Slime, there's people who aren't. And so, and it's a problem if you're saying you are and you are not.
Okay.
But there's no response from Mr. Ryan saying, yes, I'll do it, or I don't know what you're talking. There's no response. This is someone else saying these things about whether he's going to scare him or do something like that.
And Your Honor, I have removed other threads, but I believe this ultimately gets to the point where he says, and I'll try to find where this is. There's a message where Mr. Ryan says, like, what do you want me to do? Kill him? Like, and so I'm pretty sure in my mind I don't have that included, because the state's trying to be judicial with what we include, but I'll try to find where that is. So it's not, my thread is only what we're intending to use, but I want to double check, but that is my memory. So I'll verify that right now. Your Honor.
Okay, well, assuming that that's the ultimate response, they could add that response, or we could have an understanding that there is a response that affirms that he's willing to do something.
I'll have to check, Judge, because those pages aren't in here.
Your Honor, I have a concern with this matter, and maybe I'm just not as tech savvy. We're seeing towards the bottom of the page the initials SB show up.
Yeah.
And Mr. Atkins, I appreciate him being clear on this. I'm being told anyways by the state that this SB conversation, whoever's involved, is a separate thread, is what I heard, from the
Yeah, I
discussion
hadn't
about,
gotten clarity on that, so let's, I mean,
Well-
I'm as untech savvy as you. So is the person who's saying this SB what up able to see this other conversation?
No, Your Honor. And so to accurate, well, with Instagram, there's a text thread ID, so they give a specific number.
Yeah.
So if I'm texting Joe Smith and then a second later, someone else texts me and Mr. Smith keep texting back and forth,
Yeah.
each thread, you have to search the number. So
Okay.
this is a completely separate, it's almost like getting a whole other text message.
Okay. Is that why some things are in yellow and some things are in green highlighting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Show that this is a different thread?
That, and to also help be clear for both the state defense and the court of what portions, because you're always going to have, for the most part, random conversations in
Right.
one page.
Okay.
And so there will be no evidence or inference or argument that what we were just talking about has any connection with this Scarface slap, this SB what's up, and then the video called Mr. Ryan. Those are independent.
so when the state's presenting their case, I'm just trying to think through this. If this is up, say that over objection, the part we just discussed involving Mr. Ryan and I just wanted to scare him part. Say that's admitted, for example, that's admitted, and then the lower part involving slap this SB what's up is admitted. When we're publishing to the jury, is this going to be like printed out as two different exhibits with two different text chains, or is the state's plan to just publish this document and then this jury kind of is supposed to figure it out? I'm trying to understand where we're going with this.
No, Your Honor, we would have the witness distinguish that with Instagram, there are different text conversations. So this is a separate conversation. We can ask that very
All right,
specifically.
y'all need to just make that very clear that, because, I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but there might be jurors who are as untech savvy or unsocial media savvy as Mr. Sharp and I. And so
And
we
we
need
can
to
highlight
make
it
it very clear that this is an entirely separate conversation, that the one who says the SB is in no way, seeing or involved in that other conversation. All right.
Your Honor, and back to the part about the conversation, I'm brother, what do you want me to do, kill him? The response about killing somebody is a different conversation with a different person.
So, Your Honor, I was just control Fing to find where this is. So we haven't gotten there yet, but a couple pages after this is another conversation where Mr. Ryan is talking with someone else, saying that someone's not official. And then he says, he's not, you want me to kill him? So that's why I prefaced what I was saying to the court, if I want to try this, but it
Okay.
is, we're going to get to this.
Conversation.
It's a couple pages from where we are.
But is
currently.
it the same two people?
No, it's a different conversation where he's discussing someone who is or is not slime. So I apologize for that. It's 2 or 3 pages after where we are.
Yeah, the conversation about the brother, that has no response from.
Okay, well then, if this next conversation is showing the same thing, and this is more clear, use the next conversation and withdraw the.
Yes, Your Honor.
Or I'll credit the objection, so.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay.
We would then just introduce the part between where it says, hey, this is SB, with
Okay.
one which would also
Just-
eliminate the problem we were just discussing.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
so basically the objection would be granted as to that first part of the conversation, so they're going to withdraw that and for that purpose. So I guess when we see it in trial, nothing will be highlighted other than the this SB what's up, and then the video indicator. Would that? So would that take care of the potential confusion issue?
Well,
Seems,
I have a confusion issue and then I have a relevance. I as I understand these records,
Mhm.
and I'm focusing on the part that says SB because that's allegedly something my client goes by.
Okay,
Is that better?
better.
All right, so thank you. So as I understand these records indicating someone types or texts this SB what's up, slat this SB what's up, and that the author is showing Scarface because that's the device that's being used on Twitter. Is that
Your Honor, so it appears that I will assume for the purpose of this conversation that Mr. Garlington and Mr. Stillwell might be together. And so maybe he took Mr. Garlington's phone or was on his Instagram page and maybe he didn't have his phone and he needed to talk to Mr. Ryan. And so Mr. Stillwell takes Garlington's phone, goes on his Instagram account, direct messages Mr. Ryan and says, hey, because I'm Instagramming you from Garlington's account, this SB, hit me up or whatever. I think he said, hit my line in a few minutes. And so I think that is probably what occurred.
and then okay, so by the state's theory, Shannon is on Demikion's Twitter and says
Instagram, right?
Instagram. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you. It says something to Ryan, and then afterwards, there's some video call of an unknown duration. Okay. I'm going to object to I understand that it's being separated from
Right.
other discussions, but that in and of itself, I'm going to object for relevance grounds. I don't think there's an issue at this point whether Mr. Ryan and Mr. Stillwell know each other or Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Garlington know each other. So, I mean, there's no content to any of this. It's just some sort of connection.
You're right. I don't believe, and I'll double check. I don't believe we have any evidence of
Mr. Ryan and
Mr. Ryan and Mr. Stillwell. We have a picture that I think is in dispute, but outside of this picture that we believe is in dispute of if the other individual in that there's a picture on Mr. Stillwell's page that said, and it says me and him, but there's a dispute as to whether the individual is Mr. Stillwell or not. And so outside of that picture, this is what we have to show
I
association.
mean, at least
Okay.
as far as since I've been here, I don't think we've had that evidence.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that picture that the state's referring to is definitely not Mr. Stillwell.
Okay.
So,
All right.
okay. So, and just getting back to, I'm just trying to fully understand the text before.
Yes,
The state is no longer wishing to admit those
correct.
about scaring him,
Correct.
and so when this is
On,
brought in front of the jury,
will it still be on there even though not highlighted? Is that the question?
yes.
Because we're not bringing in the top of the other
Right.
thread, we will probably still highlight, 'cause I think for ease of the jurors being able to see the conversation, we will probably, yes. we
No,
will.
no, no. What I am asking and what Mr. Shard is asking is when page 1110 gets presented, the only thing highlighted will be slap this SB, what's up, Scarface, and then video call event. But will the rest of the text above that
Be highlighted.
It definitely won't be highlighted.
Right.
Will it be on there at all?
No, we can redact that. We can redact the.
I mean, it would honestly be the other person talking, he my brother, and I just want you to scare him, and nobody's gonna have any idea, because the page before that isn't gonna be presented. So would it matter whether it's on there or not? Because there's zero context to it at that point.
You'd rather have it just redacted after be safe?
Okay, so generally, that's fine, but generally speaking, are they gonna come in looking the way they do with just highlighting, but other random irrelevant stuff's gonna be on there?
Yes,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so if there is other random irrelevant stuff in any of these that is prejudicial, then let me know and they can redact that, or just let them know and they can redact that out.
Yes, if they just
Okay.
let us know, we'll
All right, thank you.
and sooner rather than later, as this case may come up sooner rather than later.
We'll double check it, Judge,
All
and
right.
speak to the state about that. It sounds
Sounds-
like,
They don't have I mean, they don't need it anyway, so they wouldn't have a problem with it.
Right.
Okay. All right, what's our next thing?
then we go to a series of conversations from 1:15 through 1:17. Another conversation with Free Juju. This is the one where they say something about killing someone, and we do feel that that is overly prejudicial to be coming in.
So, Your Honor, this is the conversation I mixed up with first one where
Hmm.
Free Juju says, these are the type of people you let be slime. And in Instagram, you can send photos and so in this thread, it appears that he sends a photo of someone like referencing. And then in response, Mr. Ryan at the bottom of page 1115, he says he says basically these are the people you let be 27. I think he's talking about blood gang because 2 is a B and 7 is G, 7th letter of the alphabet. And then so they're kind of going back and forth. And then when you follow just Free Juju and Ryan, that's why I highlighted because it does get hard to follow. On page 1116, this after Mr. Ryan after this Free Juju says, hey, this is who you let be slime. And then Mr. Ryan kind of shoots back, this is who you let be blood gang. And then he responds, he says, well, he's not official, but he says he'd be in 250. And I think when he's 250, Cleveland is a location. And then Mr. Ryan basically says that's not true. It's a slang term cap, as in that's just not accurate. And then the very last top of 117, Mr. Ryan to this same person says basically like that shit's lame because you know he doesn't like be over at 250 Cleveland. What do you want me to do? Kill him? And again, this is those two conversations which were separate are distinguishing people who are slime and are not. And someone who is claiming that and they are not officially a part of that gang is a serious problem. 2 fellow gang members is the state's position. And that's why we wanted to include this. And yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I understand the objection, but the probativity is not substantially outweighed by any undue prejudice. Okay, what's our next one?
Leave 11:55, 59. 55 and 59 are more kind of gun back and forth.
Your Honor, the state will not on 11. I'm double checking because we get close. We're in February 12th and the murder is February 23rd. So these conversations start to have multiple purposes.
Okay.
But long story short, the state initially highlighted this with talking about revolvers. So the state will not be introducing 1155.
Okay.
And then I'm reading 1159 to make sure, and that's just a follow on of that conversation. So the state will not introduce either of these.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge. The highlights on here, I'm not sure of the relevance on page 1172.
Okay.
The highlighted conversation.
Does that pick up anywhere after that?
Your Honor, 1172, and I missed the highlight here. It is, again, the Scarface Instagram and Mr. Ryan texting back and forth. So I meant to text. This is included for, and it continues to 1173, where the Scarface Instagram says he is messing with Mr. Ryan slat. We're locked in, little brother. And then he ends up saying, you know, hit HML, hit my line whenever you need me. And then Mr. Ryan says, for sure. So 1172 is just the start of that conversation. And, you know, that they start out talking about some type of suit or clothing that
All right,
they
that
bought.
doesn't seem particularly relevant.
Yes, Your Honor. So can we not, or the state will not use 1172. The state would like to use 1173.
Hadn't you already established their relationship?
Well, Your Honor, the first message was, which is the first evidence that's been introduced or discussed about either Demekion Garlington or Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Ryan.
Okay.
And this is showing like, and he's using slat. He's saying, I'm messing with you, slat. We're locked in. Hit my line whenever you need me.
So this is actually Garland.
That's the state's understanding, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then that's admissible.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Can we take a short bathroom break?
Yeah, it seems, I don't know how much longer we have on this one, but yeah, that'll be fine. Let's take a quick break.
We got hits.
Lyrical assassin. Gon' get the method on. You can gon' get the stepping on. Now I'm back, bout to let them get it. Gucci Glock with no mask on. Bars hitting harder than beats from your last song. Now you feeling busted and disgusted like all your cash gone. Standing in the rain, singing another sad song. Thought you was the shit, you trash, home. Y'all paid attention, got your class on. Cause I was doing arithmetic, get my math on. Straight like that. Spit flows like stone cold, that break nose, I'm so cold. Going poster loco, when I grip mics, it excite and blow up like dynamite. Pop the top on Sprite, quench my thirst, we going out tonight. Party like a star, cause I'm walking like a light. Team full of hitters if you looking for a fight. Grip, pull, throw like we tossing the grenades. Pum-pum, cause my chopper trying to serenade. Flow so cold, now the critics are raving. Bar so hot, they hung a nigga like Craven. I heard it through the grapevine, but this ain't no California raisin. Wood full of Zod like Smokey, I'm still blazing. I'm on that grimy shit, that slimy shit. That rough you up, make you come find me shit. I'm on that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit, yeah, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit. I'm on that grimy shit, leader like Optimus Prime shit. I'm the head, you niggas is at the end of the line shit. Playing follow the leader, trying to catch up. Now I'm on you niggas next and I ain't gon' let up. You feeling lucky, my nigga, well place your bet up. Cause I could think of nothing better than stacking my cheddar. As a matter of fact, I do it with ease. The shit's so easy, I do it in my sleep. I'm a hustler nigga, that's why I never had nothing in common with thieves. Cross me, I'ma show up like Santa Claus at your crib on Christmas Eve. Marking names off the list of the haters and fakers. Cause bosses only associate with movers and shakers. I'm on that grimy shit, that grimy shit. I'm on that grimy shit, that grimy shit. I'm on that grimy shit. Back to the grimy shit. Grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit, yeah, that grimy shit, yeah. Back to the grimy shit, make you come find me, bitch. Back to the grimy shit.